Hi, thanks for joining me in this video where we're going to go over how to do review and preview problems, which is basically how you check your understanding to see, did I understand what we did in our Desmos activity today or over the past few days, and am I ready for a test on this material? So the first thing is to know where to find your review and preview problems. So they can be found by going to your CPM login, clicking on your ebooks. Now, I have all of the books. You are just going to have your course, whether it's algebra, geometry, or algebra 2, and then you can choose the appropriate book here. So I'm just going to demonstrate with the algebra 1 book. So then when you go into your book, the chapters are all on the left. So depending on what chapter you're working on or what section, you would want to go to that appropriate resource over here. So let's pretend that we are in chapter 5. So I click chapter 5, all my lessons pop down here. Let's say we just started chapter 5. We're in 5.1.1. I'm trying to do my review and preview for tonight. So I will be brought to the lesson and I can, see the lesson. It'll match what we did in our Desmos activity today. And then I am going to go down to the review and preview section. Mine is a little different because I do have the teacher access, so you won't have things like answers or teacher notes. As I'm scrolling down, I notice that this pops up. This methods and meaning math notes, those are really important notes that I would either write in my notebook or maybe put in my class kick, if like my learning log document, if I want to keep track of that. And it might be helpful when I'm working on my homework too, to look back at that. Those math notes. But here's the section I was looking for. So review and preview. This is the title of our, for lack of a better word, it's the name of our homework. So it's called review because there's some problems that we've done before, whether in this chapter or in old chapters. So there might be questions from chapter 4, 3, 2, and 1. And it's also called preview because some of these questions might help get us ready for the next lesson. So it's not expected that you know how to answer 100% of these problems. So make sure that you look at the list your teacher provides of these are the core questions that you should really be working on tonight. So those are the ones that you should persevere, use your resources, and then maybe there are some that you try them, but if you don't get them, it's okay. So we're just going to start right here. Let's say I'm doing this first problem. My teacher said this is an important one, question 5-6. So we're not turning these in. So I'm going to keep them in my notebook. I'm going to work on it there. Or if you're someone who likes to organize things online, think about using like a Google Doc. You could take pictures and upload them. Or like for online documents, I actually really like to use Kami. It's a free download through Google that you can use. And I'm just going to kind of do a blank document here. And I'm just going to call this document like my lesson 5.1.1 homework for review and preview. There we go. So then maybe I'll keep track of all my problems here. So I'm going to put question 5-6, and then I'm able to write my work here. So the question says, what if the data for Lenny and George from problem 5-1? So I might want to go up and reference that problem and look at it again and go, what was that problem about that we did in class? And I might read through that again and go, okay, it's this rabbit problem. I remember that one. But yeah, so if they ever reference a problem number, I'd want to go back and look at that. So it says, what if the data match the data in each table below? Assuming that the growth of the rabbits multiplies as it did in problem 5-1, complete each of the following tables. Show your thinking or give a brief explanation of how you know what the missing entries are. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of copy this table in here. So I'm going to have my months and my rabbits. Make a little table here. Let's see, it was 0, 4, 1, 12, 2, 36. And then they want me to find months 3 and 4. I'm going to do that in a different color here. All right. So let's see if I can figure this out. Now, in the problem, it had said the growth of the rabbits is being multiplied. So I'm thinking, kind of what number can I multiply each of these by? So, maybe I'm looking at this and I'm going, okay, I notice I'm like 4 times 2 is 8. That doesn't work. What about 4 times 3? Well, 4 times 3 is 12. Let's see if it continues to work. What's 12 times 3? 12 times 3 is 36. Maybe if I'm needing to double check or use a calculator, I'm just going to Google search here for my Desmos Scientific Calculator. Here we go. So I'm going to do 12 times 3. Yep, that's 36. You can see the answer over here on, my apologies, on the right. Okay, so that works. So I think that the multiplier here is times 3. That's what I'm multiplying by every time. So I'm just going to leave myself a little note that the multiplier is times 3. So then to find the next couple of answers, I'm going to take 36 times 3, which I'm going to use my calculator for. Okay, 36 times 3 is 108. So I'll put that in here. And then I'm going to take 108 times 3. So I'll go back to my Desmos Scientific Calculator, and that gives me 324. All right, and I definitely could have done all of this just on some notebook paper, but this is a way you could do it online if you'd rather, and just save this document. So let me make sure I answered the question, because I think that's an important part of any question, especially if we're preparing for a test. So it says complete the tables. So I'm only doing part A right now. I completed the table. It says show your thinking or give a brief explanation of how you know what the missing entries are. So I wrote that the multiplier is times 3, but maybe I'll give a brief explanation. I would say we are looking for what number we can multiply by, and the pattern I noticed, it's a little better, is that we are multiplying by 3. I tried multiplying by 2, but it didn't work. So I tried 3 and it worked. So I'm just writing kind of myself a little note. What did I do to find that? All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and try part B. So maybe I'll label this, that this is part A. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and do part B. So I'm gonna call this 5-6 part B. And again, I'm gonna make my little table, my months, my rabbits. And let's see what information they gave us. Okay, this time, so our months go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this time we know every other rabbit, 6, 24, 96. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 24, 96. So this time I'm kind of struggling to figure out what number I'm multiplying by because I don't have 2 in a row. So I'm going to actually go to the homework help because I'm a little bit stuck on this one. So I'm going to click that homework help link. So I'm looking at part B. Part B says to find, if I click that little hint here, it says to find the multiplier, think about what happens when you multiply by 2. Okay, well, let's see what happens if I multiply by 2 using that hint. Okay, so 6 times 2 I know is 12. Let's see if that works. 12 times 2 is 24. Okay, that seems to be working. Let's do it again. 24 times 2 is 48. And 48 times 2 is 96. So I'm going to just write myself a note. My multiplier is times 2. I found it using the homework help. So maybe that kind of shows me that I need to figure out how to do this without using the homework help, because obviously on the test I wouldn't have that option. So maybe this is something that I decide I want to ask my teacher because I don't understand how they found the times two. I'm really trying to figure that out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to save this work. And maybe if I were doing this work on notebook paper, I'd take a picture and save it to my computer that way. I'm going to call this wheel, that's my name, review and preview 5.1.1. And I click that flatten annotations. It's going to save all of my work on there. And I'm just going to save it really quick. And again, maybe I save this maybe I actually just take a little screenshot of that and I save that one picture. But here now I could have this saved to my computer if you decide to go that route. Again, what I could do instead is I could just take a screenshot and save that picture. Oh, sorry, let me go back here. All right, so now that I have my work saved on my computer, I'm going to go to ClassKick and I'm going to upload my my question so that my teacher can help me. So I'm going to go to the login. I could click student. Since you're a student, I'm going to click teacher because I'm a teacher. And I'm just going to log in. So you can do that, continue with Google. We'll log in here. And then I'm looking for the ClassKick homework help assignment. So you see all of your assignments here, ClassKick homework help 2022-2023. All right, then you'll be brought to your assignment and it'll automatically bring you to the first page. I can always, if I've already done that page, I can go to a different page. But let's read the directions here. It says, upload your question and work here. Please include the section number and problem number. Okay, so I'm gonna leave a little note here saying my question is from 5.1.1, question 5-6. I'm gonna explain my question a little bit. I found the answer to part A, but I needed help on part B. I looked at the homework help and found the multiplier is times 2, but I'm wondering how they got that answer. Can you help explain how to find the times 2? So I'm just going to make sure I upload my work so my teacher knows what did I do, what have I tried. So I'm just going to, sorry, I'll go through that a little slower. If I click this camera here, it says add image, and I can upload from my computer my work. So if you're doing it online, your work, you can have it saved. If you're doing it on notebook paper, make sure you take a picture and upload that picture. And so I'm just going to open this. You kind of have to click a lot of next, blah, blah, there we go. All right, there's my work. I can make it smaller. I can kind of move it around. I could crop it if I wanted to. But here's my work, and I'm just gonna, as you can see, I kind of made this little arrow here. And I could do my work right on this page too if I wanted, but I'm just gonna circle here. Here's my question. How did they find this times 2? So maybe I just add that. I want to be a little more specific. How did they know it was times 2? All right, so there's my question. It says I should send my teacher an email or Schoology message letting them know I have a question. So I'm just going to quick go into Schoology here, which I have saved. And I'm going to send my teacher a message letting them know. So I'll click on my message button, click new message, and then I would look for my teacher's name. So there's my teacher, and I would just say question on homework. I'm gonna let them know I'm in first hour. Hi, Miss Wheel. This is Rebecca from your first hour algebra class. I had a question on the homework. I uploaded it in ClassKick. Can you please look at it? Thank you. All right, and then I'm going to send that to my teacher. It also says on the directions here in ClassKick that I should raise my hand on the slide containing my question. So my question's on this slide. I don't have this option because, again, I'm in teacher mode, but on your student mode, you should be able to raise your hand. And then that's going to show your teacher that your question is on this one. Because then let's say I get this question answered, I feel good, my teacher's going to leave comments here. Maybe a few days from now, I have a question on a different homework, and then I go and upload that question on another page. Then I can repeat the process, raise my hand, and get help from my teacher. If you have any additional questions about how to do review and preview or how to ask for help, please let your teacher know.